What if I told you that PTI Chairman Imran Khan's greatest victories didn't come from his cricket career or his political achievements, but from mastering an ancient philosophy that has guided leaders through the darkest moments in history? Today we're diving deep into the Stoic principles that have shaped one of Pakistan's most resilient leaders, and how these same lessons can transform your life when everything seems to be falling apart. If you're watching this video, chances are you're going through a difficult time. Maybe you feel overwhelmed by circumstances beyond your control. Maybe you're facing injustice, betrayal, or loss. Maybe you're wondering how to find strength when the whole world seems to be against you. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn changed not just Imran Khan's life, but the lives of millions who have applied these timeless principles. Before we dive into these life-changing lessons, I want you to understand something profound. The philosophy we're exploring today isn't just theory. It's been tested in the crucible of real adversity. From the cricket fields of England to the political arenas of Pakistan, from moments of triumph to periods of intense persecution, these principles have been the bedrock of unshakable strength. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or accepting defeat. It's about developing an inner fortress so strong that no external circumstance can break your spirit. It's about finding freedom in the one thing that truly belongs to you, your response to what happens to you. Think about this. Every great leader in history has faced moments when everything seemed hopeless. Nelson Mandela in prison, Gandhi during the freedom struggle, Martin Luther King Jr. facing death threats. And yes, Imran Khan navigating the complexities of Pakistani politics. What separated these leaders from ordinary people wasn't their circumstances, but their response to those circumstances. Lesson 1. The discipline of perception. Let me start with perhaps the most powerful Stoic principle that Imran Khan has embodied throughout his journey, the discipline of perception. This principle states that it's not what happens to you that determines your fate, but how you choose to see what happens to you. When Imran Khan first entered politics in 1996, many people called him naive. They said cricket captains don't make good politicians. They said he was too idealistic, too honest for the dirty game of politics. The media mocked him, opponents ridiculed him, and even his supporters sometimes doubted his approach. But here's what separated Imran Khan from others. He understood that these criticisms and setbacks were not obstacles to his mission. They were the very path to achieving it. This is pure Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you allowed other people's opinions to derail your dreams? How many times have you let temporary setbacks convince you that you're not meant for greatness? The Stoic leader understands that perception is everything. When PTI was struggling to gain political ground when the party faced its darkest hours, Imran Khan didn't see failure, he saw preparation. He didn't see rejection, he saw redirection. He didn't see delays, he saw divine timing. This shift in perception isn't just positive thinking, it's a complete rewiring of how you process reality. The ancient Stoics taught that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most of our pain comes not from what's actually happening, but from our interpretation of what's happening. When you master your perception, you master your destiny. Here's a practical application for your life. The next time you face a setback, ask yourself these 3 questions that embody the Stoic approach. First, what can this situation teach me? Every challenge is a curriculum designed to strengthen specific qualities within you. If you're facing financial difficulties, maybe you're learning resourcefulness and gratitude. If you're dealing with betrayal, maybe you're learning discernment and self-reliance. Second, how is this preparing me for my greater purpose? Imran Khan's years of political struggle weren't wasted time. They were training for the moment when Pakistan would need a leader who understood both victory and defeat, both praise and criticism. Third, what opportunity is hidden within this obstacle? The Chinese word for crisis consists of two characters. One represents danger, the other represents opportunity. Every crisis carries within it the seeds of breakthrough. Lesson 2. The power of present moment awareness. The second Stoic principle that has guided Imran Khan's leadership is present moment awareness. This isn't about meditation or spirituality in the conventional sense. It's about understanding that your power exists only in the present moment. Throughout his career, whether leading Pakistan's cricket team to World Cup victory or navigating complex political landscapes, Imran Khan has demonstrated a remarkable ability to stay focused on what needs to be done right now, rather than being paralyzed by past failures or future uncertainties. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. This isn't about ignoring the future or dismissing the past. It's about understanding that all your power to create change exists in this moment." When Pakistan was facing its most challenging economic and social issues, it would have been easy for any leader to become overwhelmed by the magnitude of the problems. The debt crisis, unemployment, corruption, international pressure. These challenges could paralyze anyone who tries to solve them all at once. But the Stoic approach that Imran Khan has applied is different. Focus on what can be done today in this moment. With the resources and circumstances currently, this isn't about lowering standards or accepting less. It's about channeling all your energy into actions that can create real change right now. Think about your own challenges. Maybe you're dealing with health issues, relationship problems, career setbacks, or financial stress. The mind's tendency is to catastrophize, to project current problems into an imagined future where everything goes wrong, or to replay past mistakes that led to the current situation. But here's the truth that can set you free. The past is a memory, the future is imagination, but your life is happening right now. Your ability to improve your circumstances exists right now. Your capacity to make better choices exists right now. Your opportunity to take the next right step exists right now. This principle becomes incredibly powerful when you're facing what seems like impossible odds. Instead of asking, "How will I ever solve all these problems?" the Stoic leader asks, "What's the most important thing I can do right now?" When Imran Khan was building PTI from scratch, competing against established political dynasties with vastly superior resources, the present moment approach was essential. Instead of being overwhelmed by the entire journey, the focus was on the next speech, the next rally, the next policy proposal, the next connection with the people. This is how mountains are moved, not in one dramatic gesture, but through consistent present moment actions that accumulate into extraordinary results. Lesson 3. Emotional resilience through rational thinking. The third Stoic principle that has shaped Imran Khan's approach to leadership is emotional resilience through rational thinking. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means not allowing emotions to make your decisions. Throughout his career, Imran Khan has faced intense criticism, political attacks, character assassination, and personal betrayals. These experiences would break many people, leading them to respond from anger, hurt, or desire for revenge. But the Stoic leader operates from a different paradigm. Epictetus, himself a former slave who became one of the greatest philosophers in history, taught that we cannot control what happens to us, but we can always control our response. This response should be guided not by immediate emotional reactions, but by rational consideration of what response will best serve our highest values and long-term objectives. When political opponents launched personal attacks, when media criticized policies, when allies switched sides for personal gain, Imran Khan's responses have consistently demonstrated this Stoic principle. Instead of emotional retaliation, the focus remained on the mission, the vision, and the service to Pakistan. This doesn't mean becoming cold. or unfeeling. It means developing the emotional intelligence to feel your emotions without being controlled by them. It means creating space between stimulus and response, where wisdom can guide your actions. Here's how you can apply this in your daily life. The next time someone criticizes you unfairly, betrays your trust, or treats you with disrespect, pause. Feel the emotional response, the anger, hurt, or disappointment, but don't react from that emotional state. Instead, ask yourself, what response would my highest self choose? What response aligns with my values rather than my wounds? What response would I be proud of a year from now? What response serves my greater purpose rather than my ego? This practice transforms you from being a victim of circumstances into being the author of your responses. When you master this skill, you become essentially unbreakable. People may try to manipulate you through emotional triggers, but they cannot control someone who responds from wisdom. Rather, the Stoic leader understands that emotional mastery isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about choosing your response consciously rather than reacting automatically. This creates a kind of inner freedom that no external circumstance can take away. Lesson 4. The virtue of justice and service. The fourth Stoic principle embodied in Imran Khan's leadership is the commitment to justice and service above personal gain. This principle transforms leadership from an ego-driven pursuit of power into a sacred responsibility to serve something greater than yourself. The ancient Stoics believed that virtue, particularly justice, was the highest good. This wasn't justice in the narrow legal sense, but justice as fairness, integrity, and commitment to the common good. For the Stoic leader, power is not something to be accumulated for personal benefit, but a tool to be used in service of justice and the welfare of others. Throughout his journey from cricket captain to political leader, Imran Khan has consistently demonstrated this principle. The decision to enter politics wasn't motivated by personal ambition. It was driven by a sense of responsibility to Pakistan and its people. The vision wasn't personal glory, but national transformation. This service-oriented approach to leadership creates a different kind of strength. When your motivation is personal gain, every setback feels like a personal attack. When your motivation is service to something greater, setbacks become simply obstacles to overcome in pursuit of the mission. Think about the great leaders throughout history, those who are remembered not for what they accumulated, but for what they gave. Gandhi didn't seek personal wealth, he sought India's freedom. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't seek personal fame, he sought justice for his people. Nelson Mandela could have chosen comfortable retirement. Instead, he chose to serve his nation's healing. This principle has profound implications for how you approach your own challenges and opportunities. When you shift from asking, "What can I get?" to asking, "What can I give?" everything changes. Your problems become smaller because your purpose becomes bigger. Your setbacks become temporary because your mission becomes eternal. The service-oriented mindset also creates what psychologists call post-traumatic growth, the ability to become stronger and wiser through adversity. When you're serving something greater than yourself, every challenge becomes an opportunity to develop the qualities necessary to serve more effectively. Here's how to apply this principle in your own life. Identify something you care about more than your own comfort, convenience, or recognition. It might be your family's well-being, your community's development, a cause you believe in, or a vision you want to see realized in the world. When you encounter difficulties, reframe them in terms of this greater purpose. Instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How is this preparing me to serve my purpose more effectively?" Instead of, "This isn't fair," ask, "How can I use this experience to help others who face similar challenges?" This shift in focus doesn't eliminate challenges, but it transforms their meaning. You're no longer a victim of circumstances, you're a servant preparing for greater service. Lesson 5. The discipline of continuous learning. The fifth Stoic principle demonstrated in Imran Khan's leadership journey is the discipline of continuous learning and adaptation. The Stoic understands that wisdom is not a destination, but a journey, and that every experience, positive or negative, contains lessons that can enhance effectiveness and character. From his cricket days to his political career, Imran Khan has consistently shown the ability to learn from both successes and failures, to adapt strategies based on new information, and to remain humble enough to acknowledge when approaches need to be modified. This learning orientation is crucial for anyone facing difficult times. When you're struggling with challenges, it's natural to focus on what's wrong, what's unfair, or what's not working. But the Stoic approach is different. What can I learn from this situation? How can this experience make me wiser, stronger, or more effective? Epictetus taught his students that every person they encounter is their teacher, every situation is their curriculum, and every day is their opportunity to become better than they were yesterday. This perspective transforms even the most difficult experiences into valuable education. Consider how this applies to your current challenges. If you're facing financial difficulties, what are you learning about resource management, priority setting, or finding creative solutions? If you're dealing with health issues, what are you discovering about resilience, gratitude, or what truly matters in life? If you're navigating relationship conflicts, what are you learning about communication, boundaries, or your own patterns of behavior? The learning mindset also prevents bitterness and victimhood. When you see every experience as education, you maintain agency and purpose even in difficult circumstances. You're not just surviving your challenges, you're being transformed by them. This principle also applies to leadership and influence. The most effective leaders are those who remain students, who continue learning from others regardless of their own experience or position. Imran Khan's ability to connect with people from all walks of life, to understand different perspectives, and to adapt his communication and strategies accordingly reflects this continuous learning approach. Here's a practical exercise. At the end of each day, especially difficult days, ask yourself 3 questions. What did I learn about myself today? What did I learn about others today? What did I learn about how to handle similar situations more effectively in the future? This simple practice transforms every day into a learning laboratory, every challenge into a growth opportunity, and every setback into preparation for future success. Lesson 6. The power of delayed gratification. The 6th Stoic principle that has guided Imran Khan's remarkable journey is the discipline of delayed gratification, the ability to sacrifice immediate pleasures for long-term fulfillment and purpose. This principle is evident throughout his career transitions. Moving from cricket stardom to the uncertainty of politics required giving up immediate comfort and recognition for the possibility of long-term service to Pakistan. Building PTI from the ground up required years of investment without guarantee of return. Maintaining principles in a political system that often rewards compromise required choosing long-term integrity over short-term advantage. The ancient Stoics understood that true freedom comes not from having everything you want immediately, but from developing the strength to pursue what matters most, even when it requires sacrifice and patience. In our instant gratification culture, this principle is more important than ever. Social media promises immediate validation, consumer culture promises immediate satisfaction, and modern life seems designed to make us impatient with anything that requires sustained effort. But here's what the Stoic leader understands. The most meaningful achievements in life, strong relationships, excellent health, financial security, spiritual growth, professional mastery, all require sustained effort over time. They require the ability to do what's right, even when you don't feel like it, to invest in the future, even when the present is demanding your attention. When you're going through difficult times, this principle becomes especially important. It's tempting to look for quick fixes, immediate relief, or shortcuts that promise to solve your problems without effort. But sustainable solutions almost always require patience, persistence, and the willingness to do difficult things for an extended period. Think about the challenges you're facing right now. The solution probably isn't complicated. It just requires sustained action over time. If you need to improve your health, the answer isn't a miracle diet. It's consistent, healthy choices day after day. If you need to improve your relationships, the answer isn't a perfect conversation. It's consistent, loving actions over months and years. If you need to improve your financial situation, the answer isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's consistent, wise choices about spending, saving, and investing. The delayed gratification principle also applies to emotional responses. The immediate gratification might be to lash out when you're angry, to give up when you're discouraged, or to blame others when things go wrong. But the delayed gratification approach asks, what response will serve me best in the long run? What choice will I be proud of a year from now? This principle creates a different relationship with time itself. Instead of seeing time as something that's working against you, you begin to see it as your ally. Every day of patient effort is an investment in your future self. Every moment of choosing the difficult right thing over the easy wrong thing is building the character that will carry you through future challenges. Lesson 7. Maintaining hope without attachment to outcomes. The seventh Stoic principle that has defined Imran Khan's approach to leadership is perhaps the most paradoxical. Maintaining unwavering hope while remaining unattached to specific outcomes. This balance between passionate commitment and philosophical detachment is what allows leaders to persist through seemingly impossible odds. This principle recognizes a fundamental truth. You can control your effort, your attitude, your preparation, and your response, but you cannot control outcomes. When you attach your peace of mind to specific results, you become a slave to circumstances beyond your control. When you find your motivation in the process itself, in doing what's right regardless of results, you become unbreakable. Throughout his political journey, Imran Khan has demonstrated this principle consistently. The commitment to Pakistan's welfare has remained constant, but the specific strategies, timelines, and methods have been adapted based on changing circumstances. The hope for positive change has never wavered, but the attachment to particular political outcomes has been balanced with philosophical acceptance of what cannot be controlled. This principle is incredibly powerful for anyone facing uncertainty or setbacks. It allows you to give your maximum effort while maintaining inner peace, regardless of results. It enables you to take inspired action without being paralyzed by fear of failure. Consider how this applies to your current situation. Maybe you're working to improve your health, but you're frustrated because progress is slower than you hoped. Maybe you're trying to rebuild a relationship, but the other person isn't responding as you expected. Maybe you're pursuing a career goal, but obstacles keep appearing that weren't in your original plan. The Stoic approach is to maintain complete commitment to the process while releasing attachment to the timeline and specific outcomes. You continue taking healthy actions without demanding that your body heal at a certain pace. You continue showing love and respect without requiring immediate reciprocation. You continue developing your skills and pursuing opportunities without demanding that success arrive according to your schedule. This doesn't mean lowering your standards or reducing your ambitions. It means finding your satisfaction and motivation in the quality of your effort, rather than in external validation or specific results. It means deriving meaning from the fact that you're growing, contributing, and living according to your values, regardless of what others do or how circumstances unfold. The Buddhist concept of right effort captures this beautifully. Give everything you have to what you're doing, but hold the results lightly. The Bhagavad Gita teaches a similar principle. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but not to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. This principle creates what we might call anti-fragile hope. Hope that actually grows stronger through adversity rather than being weakened by it. When your hope is based on external circumstances, every setback diminishes it. When your hope is based on your capacity to respond, learn, and continue growing regardless of circumstances, every challenge actually strengthens it. Lesson 8. The practice of negative visualization. The eighth Stoic principle that has contributed to Imran Khan's resilience is the practice of negative visualization, the deliberate contemplation of potential losses or setbacks in order to build appreciation for what you have and emotional preparation for what might come. This isn't pessimism or expecting the worst. It's a practical mental exercise that increases gratitude, reduces anxiety, and builds emotional resilience. The ancient Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of troubles. When you mentally rehearse how you would respond to potential challenges, several powerful things happen. First, you become more grateful for your current circumstances. Second, you become less attached to things that might be temporary. Third, you build confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes. Fourth, you often discover that your worst fears are not as catastrophic as they initially seemed. Throughout his career, Imran Khan has faced situations that would devastate someone unprepared for adversity. Intense media scrutiny, political betrayals, character attacks, and the enormous pressure of leading a nation through complex challenges. The resilience to navigate these situations comes partly from having mentally prepared for the possibility that they might occur. This principle is especially valuable when you're going through difficult times. Instead of trying to avoid thinking about your challenges, the Stoic approach is to face them mentally and emotionally, to think through how you would respond if things get worse, and to identify the resources and strengths you would draw upon. Here's how to practice this constructively. Set aside a few minutes each day to calmly consider potential challenges you might face. Don't dwell on them or create anxiety, but simply ask yourself, if this situation occurred, how would I respond? What resources would I use? What would I learn? How would I maintain my values and purpose? For example, if you're worried about job security, spend time thinking about how you would handle unemployment. What skills would you leverage? What network would you activate? What opportunities might emerge? How would you maintain your family's well-being? How would this challenge help you grow? This exercise often reveals that you're more resilient and resourceful than you realized. It also helps you identify practical steps you can take now to prepare for potential challenges, building emergency funds, developing additional skills, strengthening relationships, or clarifying your priorities. The practice also increases appreciation for your current circumstances. When you regularly consider what you might lose, you naturally become more grateful for what you have. This gratitude isn't just emotionally satisfying, it's practically valuable because grateful people are more resilient, creative, and attractive to others. Negative visualization also reduces the shock and paralysis that often accompany unexpected setbacks. When you've mentally rehearsed various scenarios, you're more likely to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively when challenges arise. Lesson 9. The strength of philosophical frameworks. The ninth Stoic principle that has anchored Imran Khan's leadership is the development and application of strong philosophical frameworks, core beliefs and principles that guide decision-making, regardless of external pressures or circumstances. Without a clear philosophical foundation, leaders become reactive, inconsistent, and vulnerable to manipulation by changing circumstances or public opinion. With a strong philosophical framework, leaders can maintain consistency, make principled decisions under pressure, and inspire others through their unwavering commitment to core values. Throughout his career, Imran Khan has demonstrated the power of having clear philosophical anchors, commitment to justice, service to Pakistan, integrity in personal conduct, and the belief that positive change is possible through principled leadership. These frameworks have guided decisions even when they were politically costly or personally difficult. This principle is crucial for anyone navigating challenging times. When external circumstances are chaotic or unpredictable, your internal philosophical framework becomes your compass. It helps you make decisions that align with your deepest values rather than your immediate emotions or pressures. The development of a strong philosophical framework requires identifying what you stand for, what you believe about the nature of success and fulfillment, how you define right and wrong, and what principles you're willing to sacrifice for and which you're willing to sacrifice. Some questions to help you develop your philosophical framework. What do you believe about the purpose of human life? What qualities do you most admire in others and why? What would you want to be remembered for? What principles are you unwilling to compromise, regardless of circumstances? How do you define success beyond external achievements? What do you believe about your responsibility to others and to society? Once you've clarified these foundational beliefs, they become incredibly practical tools for decision-making. When facing difficult choices, you can ask, which option best aligns with my core philosophy? Which choice would my highest self make? Which path serves my deepest values? This approach creates what we might call philosophical integrity, consistency between your beliefs and actions, regardless of external pressures. This integrity becomes a source of inner strength that cannot be shaken by circumstances, criticism, or setbacks. Your philosophical framework also becomes a source of inspiration for others. When people see someone living according to clear, principled beliefs, it gives them permission and encouragement to clarify and live by their own values. This is part of what makes principled leaders so powerful. They don't just achieve their own goals, they inspire others to become better versions of themselves. Lesson 10. The balance of acceptance and action. The 10th and perhaps most sophisticated Stoic principle, demonstrated in Imran Khan's leadership, is the delicate balance between acceptance and action, knowing when to accept what cannot be changed and when to take bold action to change what can be influenced. This principle is captured in the famous Serenity Prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. But applying this wisdom in real life, especially during challenging times, requires sophisticated judgment and emotional maturity. Throughout his career, Imran Khan has had to navigate this balance constantly, accepting certain political realities while working to change others, accepting past mistakes while taking action to create better outcomes, accepting criticism while maintaining confidence in his vision and approach. This balance is crucial for mental health and effectiveness during difficult times. When you spend energy trying to change things beyond your control, you become frustrated and ineffective. When you accept things that you could actually influence, you become passive and miss opportunities for positive change. The key is developing what we might call sphere of influence awareness, the ability to clearly distinguish between what you can and cannot control, and to direct your energy accordingly. Here's what you can always control: your thoughts and interpretations, your responses and reactions, your effort and preparation, your attitude and approach, your values and principles, your goals and priorities, your daily habits and choices. Here's what you typically cannot control: other people's choices and reactions, the timing of results, external circumstances and events, the past and its consequences, other people's opinions of you, economic, political, and social conditions, natural disasters, and health crises. The wisdom lies in putting 100% of your energy into the first category while accepting the second category with grace and equanimity. This principle transforms your relationship with stress and anxiety. Most stress comes from trying to control things beyond your influence. When you redirect that energy toward what you can actually control, stress decreases and effectiveness increases dramatically. The practice also increases your sense of personal power. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you recognize that you always have meaningful choices available. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can always control what happens within you. For practical application, try this daily practice. When you encounter any challenging situation, immediately ask yourself, what aspects of this situation can I influence and what aspects must I accept? Then put all your energy into the first category while practicing philosophical acceptance of the second. This doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on positive change. It means becoming strategic about where you invest your limited time and energy, focusing on actions that can actually create the outcomes you desire. Lesson 11. The power of spiritual connection. The 11th Stoic principle, often overlooked in purely philosophical discussions, is the importance of spiritual connection, not necessarily religious faith, but a sense of connection to something greater than individual ego and immediate circumstances. The ancient Stoics, despite their emphasis on reason and logic, recognized the importance of feeling connected to what they called the beyond cosmic order, or universal reason. This spiritual dimension provides meaning that transcends temporary setbacks and connects individual struggle to universal purpose. Throughout his journey, Imran Khan has demonstrated this spiritual dimension of leadership, the sense that his efforts are part of something larger than personal achievement. This connection to transcendent purpose provides a reservoir of strength that purely rational or material motivations cannot match. When you're facing your darkest moments, this spiritual connection becomes crucial. It's what allows you to find meaning in suffering, purpose in struggle, and hope in seemingly hopeless circumstances. It connects your individual challenges to the universal human experience of growth through adversity. This spiritual dimension doesn't require adherence to any particular religion or belief system. It simply requires recognizing that you're part of something larger than yourself. Whether you call it God, the universe, evolution, consciousness, or simply the human family. This connection provides several practical benefits. First, it gives your struggles meaning beyond personal frustration. You're not just trying to solve your problems, you're developing qualities and insights that can serve others facing similar challenges. Second, it provides comfort during lonely times by reminding you that you're never truly alone. You are connected to all of existence. Third, it offers guidance through intuition and inner wisdom that complements rational analysis. Many people discover that their most difficult periods become their most spiritually rich periods. When external circumstances strip away superficial concerns, deeper questions emerge. What really matters? What is my purpose? How can I serve something greater than myself? What am I meant to learn from this experience? These questions often lead to profound spiritual insights that transform not just how you handle current challenges, but how you approach life itself. You begin to see obstacles as opportunities for spiritual growth, setbacks as setups for comebacks, and pain as the breaking open that allows light to enter. To develop this spiritual dimension, try these practices. Spend time in nature, recognizing your connection to the natural world. Practice gratitude, acknowledging the countless gifts that support your existence. Engage in service to others, experiencing the joy of contributing to something beyond yourself. Meditate or pray, creating quiet space for connection with deeper wisdom. Study wisdom traditions, learning from those who have walked the path before you. Journal about meaning and purpose, exploring the deeper significance of your experiences. This spiritual foundation doesn't eliminate challenges, but it transforms their meaning. You're no longer just trying to get through difficulties. You're allowing difficulties to transform you into a more wise, compassionate, and effective human being. Lesson 12. The practice of daily reflection. The 12th Stoic principle that has contributed to sustained excellence and resilience is the practice of daily reflection, regular examination of thoughts, actions, and progress toward becoming your best self. The ancient Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, practiced daily reflection as a way to maintain perspective, learn from experiences, and continuously align actions with values. This wasn't self-criticism or rumination, but constructive self-examination focused on growth and improvement. The practice of reflection serves several crucial functions. It helps you learn from both successes and mistakes, maintain awareness of your patterns and habits, stay connected to your deeper values and purposes, and make conscious adjustments to your approach and priorities. When you're going through difficult times, reflection becomes especially valuable. It prevents you from getting so caught up in immediate challenges that you lose sight of bigger patterns and purposes. It helps you extract wisdom from difficult experiences rather than just enduring them. It maintains connection to your growth and progress, even when external circumstances are challenging. Here's a practical approach to Stoic reflection that you can adapt to your circumstances. Evening review. Each evening, spend 10-15 minutes reflecting on the day. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? What could I have handled better? What did I learn about myself or others? How did I live according to my values? What am I grateful for from today? Weekly assessment. Each week, step back and look at broader patterns. What themes are emerging in my challenges and growth? How am I progressing toward my important goals? What adjustments do I need to make in my approach? What relationships need attention? How can I serve others more effectively? Monthly visioning. Each month, connect with your larger purpose. Am I moving in the direction of my deepest values? What have I learned that can help others? How has adversity contributed to my growth? What do I want to focus on in the coming month? How can I contribute more meaningfully to something greater than myself? This reflection practice creates what we might call conscious evolution, the intentional development of wisdom, character, and effectiveness over time. Instead of just reacting to circumstances, you become the conscious author of your growth and development. The practice also builds emotional intelligence and self-awareness. You begin to notice your patterns of thinking and reacting before they create problems. You develop the ability to pause and choose your responses rather than being controlled by automatic reactions. Reflection also builds appreciation for progress that might otherwise go unnoticed. When you're in the middle of challenges, it's easy to feel like you're not making progress, but regular reflection often reveals growth in resilience, wisdom, and character that becomes visible only when you step back and look at longer-term patterns. As we reach the end of our exploration of these Stoic leadership principles that have guided PTI Chairman Imran Khan through decades of challenges and achievements, I want you to understand something profound. These aren't just philosophical ideas or inspirational concepts. These are practical tools that have been tested in the crucible of real adversity and proven effective for creating positive change in the most difficult circumstances. But here's what's most important. These principles only have power when they're applied. Knowledge without application is just entertainment. Wisdom without practice is just information. The transformation you're seeking won't come from understanding these ideas. It will come from integrating them into your daily life, especially during the most challenging moments. Think about where you are right now. Maybe you're facing financial pressures that keep you awake at night. Maybe you're dealing with health challenges that have changed your entire life perspective. Maybe you're navigating relationship conflicts that seem impossible to resolve. Maybe you're pursuing dreams that everyone else thinks are unrealistic. Maybe you're simply feeling overwhelmed by the complexity and uncertainty of modern life. Here's what I want you to understand. Your current challenges are not obstacles to your growth. They are the very circumstances through which your growth will occur. The difficulties you're facing are not evidence that something is wrong with your life. They are the curriculum through which you'll develop the strength, wisdom, and character that will serve you for the rest of your journey. The Stoic principles we've explored today offer you a different way of relating to whatever you're facing. Instead of being a victim of your circumstances, you can become the hero of your story. Instead of being controlled by external events, you can maintain inner freedom regardless of what happens around you. Instead of being diminished by adversity, you can be strengthened and refined by it. But this transformation requires a decision, a commitment to approach your challenges differently than you've approached them before. It requires choosing growth over comfort, wisdom over immediate relief, and principle over convenience. Let me leave you with 3 specific commitments that can begin transforming your life immediately. First, commit to controlling only what you can control. Starting today, every time you feel stressed, anxious, or frustrated, ask yourself, is this something I can influence or something I must accept? Then put all your energy into what you can influence while practicing philosophical acceptance of what you cannot control. This single shift will reduce your stress dramatically while increasing your effectiveness exponentially. Second, commit to finding the opportunity in every obstacle. When challenges arise, and they will, train yourself to ask, what is this situation here to teach me? How is this preparing me for my greater purpose? What strength or skill is this developing within me? This reframes every setback as a setup for comeback, every crisis as a curriculum for growth. Third, commit to daily reflection and growth. Set aside time each day, even if it's just 5 minutes, to reflect on how you're living according to these principles. Ask yourself, how did I respond to challenges today? What did I learn? How can I apply Stoic wisdom more effectively tomorrow? This practice ensures continuous growth and prevents you from falling back into old patterns of thinking and reacting. Let's look at the deeper spiritual dimension. Now, I want to address something that goes beyond philosophy and enters the realm of the spiritual. If you're watching this video during a particularly dark time in your life, I want you to know that you're not alone in your struggle. Throughout history, every great soul has walked through valleys of difficulty, periods of testing, and seasons of uncertainty. The Islamic tradition teaches us about the concept of hikmah, divine wisdom that often comes disguised as hardship. The Christian tradition speaks of growing through suffering. The Hindu tradition teaches about dharma, fulfilling your purpose despite obstacles. The Buddhist tradition explains how suffering leads to enlightenment. Every wisdom tradition recognizes that our greatest growth often comes through our greatest challenges. Imran Khan's journey embodies this universal truth. The years of political struggle, the criticism and attacks, the setbacks and disappointments, these weren't obstacles to his destiny. They were the very path to developing the character and wisdom necessary to lead Pakistan through complex challenges. Your struggles are serving the same purpose in your life. They're not evidence that you're on the wrong path. They're confirmation that you're being prepared for something greater than you currently imagine. Every difficulty you're facing is developing qualities within you that you'll need for your future service to others. This perspective transforms your relationship with pain. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin asking, what is this preparing me for? Instead of feeling victimized by your circumstances, you begin seeing yourself as being trained for your mission. What are the practice of gratitude in darkness? One of the most powerful Stoic practices, especially during difficult times, is the cultivation of gratitude, not superficial positive thinking, but deep appreciation for the gifts that exist even in challenging circumstances. When you're going through hard times, gratitude might seem impossible or even insulting to your pain. But true gratitude isn't about pretending everything is wonderful when it's not. It's about recognizing the elements of grace and growth that exist alongside the difficulty. You can be grateful for the strength you're discovering within yourself, the people who are supporting you, the lessons you're learning, the compassion you're developing, and the faith you're building. You can be grateful that you're alive to fight another day, that you have the capacity to grow and change, and that your struggles are preparing you to help others who will face similar challenges. This gratitude practice doesn't eliminate pain, but it prevents bitterness. It doesn't solve problems immediately, but it maintains hope. It doesn't make challenges disappear, but it helps you find meaning in the midst of struggle. Try this. Each morning when you wake up, before checking your phone or thinking about your problems, identify 3 things you're genuinely grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe it's having clean water to drink, a comfortable place to sleep, or people who care about you. This simple practice begins rewiring your brain to notice gifts alongside challenges. Join the community of resilient souls. As you apply these Stoic principles to your life, remember that you're joining a community that stretches across centuries and cultures. The community of resilient souls who have chosen growth over comfort wisdom, over ease and service over selfishness. This community includes not just famous leaders like Imran Khan, Nelson Mandela, or Marcus Aurelius, but millions of ordinary people who have applied these principles to transform their lives and serve others. Single mothers working multiple jobs to provide for their children, entrepreneurs building businesses despite repeated failures, students pursuing education despite financial hardship, caregivers serving family members through long illnesses, activists working for justice despite opposition and setbacks. You are part of this invisible community of people who refuse to be defined by their circumstances, who choose to respond rather than react, who find strength in serving something greater than themselves. When you feel alone in your struggles, remember that countless others throughout history have walked similar paths and emerged stronger, wiser, and more capable of serving others. What will be the ripple effects of your transformation? Here's something beautiful to consider. As you apply these Stoic principles to transform your own life, you automatically begin influencing others. Your family sees a different way of responding to stress. Your friends witness a different approach to setbacks. Your colleagues observe a different attitude toward challenges. Your community experiences a different quality of leadership and service. This influence happens not through preaching or teaching, but through modeling. When people see someone maintaining inner peace during external chaos, staying committed to principles under pressure, and finding opportunity within obstacles, it gives them permission and inspiration to approach their own challenges differently. Imran Khan's influence extends far beyond his political positions or policy decisions. His modeling of resilience, principle, and service has inspired millions to believe that positive change is possible, that integrity matters, and that serving something greater than yourself is the path to true fulfillment. Your transformation, though it might seem small and personal, has the same potential for positive influence. Every time you choose courage over comfort, wisdom over reaction, or service over selfishness, you're contributing to the healing and elevation of human consciousness. As we conclude, I want to help you develop a long-term vision for how these principles can transform not just your current challenges, but your entire approach to life. Imagine yourself 5 years from now having consistently applied these Stoic principles. You've developed the ability to remain calm and centered regardless of external circumstances. You've learned to find opportunity in every obstacle and growth in every challenge. You've built your life around serving something greater than yourself. You've mastered the balance between acceptance and action, between effort and detachment. From this transformed state, you look back at your current challenges with deep gratitude, recognizing them as the very experiences that forged your strength, wisdom, and character. You see clearly how every difficulty contributed to your development, how every setback set you up for greater service, and how every moment of pain preceded a period of profound growth. But more importantly, You've become someone others look to for guidance, inspiration, and hope. Your presence brings peace to chaotic situations. Your perspective helps others find meaning in their struggles. Your example gives people faith that they too can overcome whatever they're facing. This isn't fantasy. This is the natural result of consistently applying Stoic principles over time. Every great leader, every inspiring person, every individual who makes a positive difference in the world has walked this path of transforming personal challenges into universal service. Now comes the most important part. What will you do with what you've learned? These principles only have power when they're applied. This wisdom only creates transformation when it's lived. I challenge you to choose one principle from today's discussion and commit to applying it for the next 30 days. Maybe it's the discipline of perception, looking for opportunity in every obstacle. Maybe it's present moment awareness, focusing all your energy on what you can do right now. Maybe it's emotional resilience, responding from wisdom rather than reacting from emotion. Choose the principle that speaks most directly to your current situation and practice it daily. Notice how it changes not just your external circumstances, but your internal experience of those circumstances. Pay attention to how it affects your relationships, your effectiveness, and your sense of peace and purpose. After 30 days, choose another principle and integrate it into your daily practice. Over time, these principles will become automatic responses rather than conscious choices. They'll become part of who you are rather than things you have to remember to do. If you're in the middle of your darkest hour right now, I want to leave you with this message of hope. Your current challenges are not evidence that your life is going wrong. They're evidence that you're being prepared for something greater than you currently imagine. The pain you're feeling is not punishment, it's preparation. The obstacles you're facing are not roadblocks, they're stepping stones. The setbacks you're experiencing are not endings, they're new beginnings in disguise. Every great leader, every inspiring person, every individual who has made a positive difference in the world has walked through valleys similar to the one you're walking through now. What separated them from others wasn't the absence of challenges, but their response to challenges. You have within you the same capacity for resilience, wisdom, and transformation that has guided leaders throughout history. You have access to the same Stoic principles that have sustained people through wars, persecutions, natural disasters, and personal tragedies. Most importantly, you have the opportunity to use your current struggles as the raw material for building unshakable strength, profound wisdom, and meaningful purpose. Your pain can become your power. Your wounds can become your wisdom. Your struggles can become your strength. What are the eternal perspectives? From the eternal perspective, your current challenges are temporary, but the character you develop by facing them courageously is permanent. The circumstances that seem so overwhelming today will pass, but the person you become by applying Stoic principles to those circumstances will serve you for the rest of your life. Years from now, when you're living from the strength and wisdom you're developing today, when you're serving others who are facing challenges similar to the ones you're overcoming now, when you're looking back with gratitude at the difficulties that forged your character, you'll understand that everything you're going through right now is serving your highest good. The ancient Stoics taught that the universe is intelligently designed, that every challenge contains within it the seeds of growth, and that apparent obstacles are often opportunities in disguise. Whether you believe in divine providence, evolutionary intelligence, or simply the capacity of consciousness to find meaning in experience, the practical result is the same. You can trust the process you're going through. As we end our time together today, I want you to carry this truth with you. You are stronger than you know, wiser than you believe, and more capable than you imagine. The challenges you're facing are not evidence of your limitations. They're opportunities to discover your unlimited potential for growth, service, and positive impact. PTI Chairman Imran Khan's journey from cricket captain to national leader wasn't accomplished through avoiding difficulties. It was accomplished through facing difficulties with stoic principles that transformed every challenge into character development and every setback into setup for greater service. Your journey is equally important. Your struggles matter. Your growth contributes to the healing of the world. Your transformation inspires others to believe that they too can overcome whatever they're facing. Stand strong in the principles we've discussed today. Find strength in serving something greater than yourself. Maintain hope while working diligently toward your goals. Remember that you're not alone in your struggles. You're part of an eternal community of resilient souls who have chosen growth over comfort and service over selfishness. Your current chapter is not your final chapter. Your present circumstances are not your permanent circumstances. Your today is not your forever. Keep moving forward. Keep applying these principles. Keep growing through whatever you're facing. The world needs the person you're becoming through your struggles. The future needs the wisdom you're developing through your challenges. Others need the hope you'll be able to offer because you refuse to give up when everything seemed impossible. You've got this. Not because your path will be easy, but because these timeless principles will make you equal to whatever path you must walk. May you find in these Stoic teachings the same strength that has guided leaders throughout history. And may you use that strength not just to overcome your own challenges, but to help others overcome theirs. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that step today. Apply one principle. Make one choice based on wisdom rather than emotion. Look for one opportunity within your current obstacle. Your transformation begins now. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Stoic wisdom and leadership principles. Remember, you are not just surviving your challenges, you are being transformed by them. And that transformation will serve not just you, but everyone whose life you touch going forward. Stay strong, stay hopeful, stay committed to your growth. The best version of yourself is waiting on the other side of whatever you're going through right now. Until next time, keep applying these principles, keep growing through your challenges, and keep believing in the incredible potential that exists within you.